when it loads. Great, we're live. Morning, Jack.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, everyone.
Welcome to episode, what are we on, 4 now, of Newsn't. And what better way to start your weekend than with a bullet of news straight to the cranium.
Which is presumably why you're not listening to us and instead you're watching a news show.
And that's why you're, yes. If you've accidentally turned this on, fear not, because we've actually got some real breaking stories. Not breaking, but interesting stories.
This is peak journalism.
This is peak journalism, by which I mean just reading other people's journalism and pretending it's our own. So, stay with us for some terrifying coronavirus news, as always, for some news about HS2 to Hong Kong to TikTok, just to get the kids on, and some nonsense from Jack. So
I love a good bit of nonsense. Not nonsense. We've talked about kids.
We've been. So we're going to start. Oh God. Okay, we're there already.
That was quick.
That was
1 minute, 15 seconds.
Okay, we're going to start. Jack, do you know who Baroness Harding is?
I do not know who Baroness Harding is.
Have you seen her in the news at all?
I have not, which is why I don't know who she is.
No, which is unusual because she is chairing the new test and trace program for the government. Ooh. And now tell me if you think that she is the right woman for the job. So her qualifications: former chief executive of TalkTalk. That includes during the massive data breach in 2015.
I'm proud of that.
So she's, given that the test and trace, including the app that she's in charge of, has already been accused of quite a lot of potential data breaches. How do you reckon she's the right person to counter, quell those accusations?
At some point, if you think it's giving away data, you just got to lean into it and just sell it.
That's true.
What she's going to do.
And to be fair, no one could accuse that. It's not her fault. No one could accuse her of incompetence. So I mean,
obviously not.
Journalists asked her point blank, was the data encrypted? And her response was, and I quote, "I don't know."
Right.
So that's good, isn't it?
Not
she's
sure
heading
she's
up.
Qualified for this
Anyway,
job.
data aside, she is qualified to be leading us through this pandemic, because she cares. She knows a lot about controlling COVID-19, as she proved as a member of the board, the chair, the board of the Jockey Club, which which made the decision to go ahead with Cheltenham in the early days of the virus, potentially spreading it everywhere. So she's both.
I'm suddenly more confident in the government now.
Yeah, so that's Baroness Harding, who is heading up the new test and trace program, including the app.
Very impressive.
Previously losing about 4 million people's data, just as you do.
Yeah,
and proving she has absolutely no concept of how dangerous this virus is. So that's great. Did that make headline news though? No, because no. What do you think this means, Jack? Because we've sort of been seeing this as a bit of a pattern in the UK and the US and other countries, presumably.
We don't know what we're doing.
Well, that we don't know what we're doing, and that we're not necessarily giving the jobs to the best people for the job, but to people who are going to follow the party line.
Yes.
Do you think that's, people are saying COVID's going to lead to another new authoritarian state?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it did do somewhere. I'm slightly less expecting it to here.
Exactly. The Onion captured it perfectly. Got a message from Fanny Kmela saying hello. That's nice. So hello, Fanny.
Very kind.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Onion captured it perfectly. They ran a headline saying police and governments and big businessmen marvel at the futuristic utopia they're currently living in. And I think that some bureaucrats are going to get a taste for this. I think
Yeah.
This is the ideal situation for some people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost perfect.
Yeah, for you.
They don't have to leave. Well, actually, yeah. But I mean, that's
no human interaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I look out of the window and I'm like, "That's enough."
Get scared and come back in.
And I'm going to close it and then go to sleep again.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. That's and then on Saturday morning, I wake up and I have a chat with this strange man, and then I go back to hiding.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, if I'm even real, I could. Who knows? I could be a figment of your imagination.
Absolutely mental.
Yes.
Wouldn't put it that far past me, but.
Oh dear. So, that is some quite terrifying news, and that's my favourite / least favourite story of the week. Jack, have you got anything for me to lighten the mood after that?
Okay, let's say you were a priest in Detroit, and you were trying to.
I am that. Yeah.
Well, that's going to make it easy. You're trying to think smarter instead of harder, working harder. Okay. I don't know. How would you improve your blessing of parishioners? It was apparently, despite the man.
Oh, I think I know what this is going to be. I would just come at them in the night with a bucket of water. But I think, go on. What did he do?
I mean, you might know. Yeah, he stole an internet idea that was previously a joke, and he filled a water gun with holy water and went at parishioners during church service, which presumably is quite good because you can stay 6 feet apart and still get holy water.
That's great. And it was holy water. It wasn't just it filled it up from the tap in the garden.
Yeah, he squirt gun to spray parishioners with holy water in an attempt to maintain social distancing during the coronavirus pandemic.
That's great. And is that endorsed by the church? Do you know?
I don't really see why not, because I mean the Catholic Church endorses holy water.
Yeah,
give it to people. He's just
what kind of water gun are we talking?
I'm not sure. I didn't
super soaker
it itself.
I'll just use a pressure washer.
I like to think it's a really big super soaker though.
He's just using a Karcher.
I also like to think that he didn't warn these people beforehand. It was more of like a.
He's just going up to people in the street.
Yeah, Catholic guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Coming out in their habits with these large super soakers, shouting at you to get on the ground. Don't reach for your gun or whatever they say. Read your Miranda rights and then just read. Super.
That is very American. I feel at least it's a water gun. At least they're not just
what just shooting parishioners.
Yeah, well, wouldn't put it past them. Just in case you were getting a little bit too uplifted by that news, we're gonna whack in some more depressing stuff. So some number crunching. I've got some numbers here. Not really news as such, but just stats that I thought were interesting. Do you know how much extra cash for the health and safety executive have been given to deal with COVID workplace safety?
20 pence.
20 pence. Well, in relative terms, you're not far off, but in a much more real sense, it's actually £14 million. Which sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds like it's one of those numbers that sounds like a lot that the government can get away until you realise that since 2010, the cuts to that particular agency have amounted to £100 million.
Right. Yes.
So further evidence that this government is look, they have maybe they do care now. They haven't cared in the past, have they?
What does the government need to care for its people for?
Well, exactly. That's not their job, is it? That's not what we elected for or anything.
Why need it?
No. Anyway, I mean, to be fair, it'd be rude, wouldn't it? It's not what you expect from a Tory government.
Yeah. You never go into it.
It's strange. It's like you elect them. You think, well, at least it's the Tories. I know where I am. I know they don't care about me.
Yeah.
It's like an abusive relationship. Like you sort of feel like you're
apathetic.
It's and Labour are expected to be incompetent. That's just how things go. But Keir Starmer is actually quite good, which isn't really on, is it?
We're not allowed. They're not allowed.
Not allowed competent Labour leaders. We've been over this.
Breaking everything. It's got to change.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah. Especially not competent, vaguely left-wing ones. I mean, imagine.
Not allowed at all.
Not allowed. No.
You have to find something with which to smear him. They've got to go down.
Well, they did actually. This was I'm pinching this off Have I Got News for You last night, to be honest, but this was reported, I think, by the Mail, that Starmer had land worth thousands of pounds that he's just sitting on, and he's a hypocrite and he's keeping the land. It turns out it's a donkey sanctuary he part owns. So if that's the best they can do, then the Tories really are in trouble.
This leader, look how terrible he is. He owns a donkey sanctuary.
Yeah, no, but it's not good because the Labour leader's finally going in and going, well, it's not going well, is it? And here's why. Here's all of the many reasons that I'm going to give you as to why. And Boris doesn't have his laugh track. Boris doesn't have a laugh track in the background. I hope the one person watching didn't watch Have I Got News for You last night, because all of those jokes were stolen. That entire bit. Anyway, your second story, second big story. Stick around. Do you like trains, Jack? I just smacked all over my
laptop. Like trains being existing. They take
you like the fact they exist,
but I don't. Instead of being existing, yes. But I'm not exactly a train guy. I don't know my trains.
You're not a train guy?
I'm nothing against trains, but I'm also not a train man.
You're not a train man.
I don't have the miniatures of trains that chug along.
The CMP movie says Donkeygate will bring him down. Let's hope so, Mr. Movies, so we can get back to the status quo of callous Tories and incompetent Labour.
I'd like
and just very shy Lib Dems, I guess.
Yeah. Or old ones.
But in somewhat less serious news than Keir Starmer's donkey sanctuary, trains, HS2 budget estimated to be, inestimable, basically. They don't know how much it's going to cost. Projected cost has already risen by £33 billion, which just pocket change, I suppose, since 2015. However, that's right. Last week, I've written this all wrong, but the gist was last week it has become known that that two detailed scrutiny sessions about HS2 before MPs in 2018 and 2019 failed to let the government or the parliament know about the rising costs, which they've known about for years, but they've been denying they've been known about for years, but they've actually known that the projected costs are going to be rising for a long time.
I think of the people just hiding information is notoriously a very nice beneficial thing that we all support.
Yes. What was it? The public. They've hidden it from the Public Accounts Committee or something. What's it called? Yeah. So
wonderful.
Do you think? Well, we're going to talk about this. Do you like HS2? Do you think it's a good idea?
I don't really know enough to make a strict statement on that.
Right, but in principle, do you think it's a good idea to speed up the link between Birmingham and London?
I assume lots of people are using it, and it's important. So yes, if we establish that, but it also sounds like
do you think it's worth the money?
And even more money now. It turns out that they've lied about how much money it's going to cost. So maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Let us know in the comments if you think HS2 is still worth it, especially during this crisis.
From Birmingham to London.
Pardon? What?
How quickly does someone need to get from Birmingham to London?
Well, I don't know. I mean, presumably people should get out of Birmingham as quickly as possible. That's true. And that's as is their human right. But no,
you should call amnesty about that.
Yeah, well, it's a good joke that the Indian space program spent 100 million sending something to the moon. Not a person, not much, but their space program got, or maybe it was a satellite, but they spent about 100 million sending people to space. And we're going to be spending nearly 100 billion sending people to Birmingham. So,
to be honest, it's probably a more dangerous trip. So,
well, yeah. I was going to say one's an inhospitable. Oh, here we go. It's not about speed; it's capacity. We need HS2. Can't expand the rest of our train system in the north without it. That's fair enough. Do we? I mean, the main concern people have, that is the main argument people have against HS2 is spend the money on improving existing rail networks, which in the north aren't great. Well, in the south they're not great. They're not great anywhere, to be honest. No, I suppose it just comes down to cost and benefit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Interestingly, if you go on their website, they're doing the classic, and they're letting you name the first HS2 tunnel boring machine.
Really? They haven't decided that that's a bad idea?
You're not allowed to write in. You have three choices. Mary Curie, Florence Nightingale, or Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin.
How are any of those relevant to tunnel boring? Was Florence Nightingale known for her spelunking in caves?
You choose the top two inspirational women will have boring machines named after them. So unlucky Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin, I imagine.
So you're not saying that women, they're not. This isn't a backhanded way of saying women are boring, is it?
No, I don't think so. I know they've been nominated by. Mary Curie was nominated by Maple Cross Primary School, Florence Nightingale by the Meadow Special Needs School, and Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin by Chalfont Community College. I don't know why.
Why do they get to nominate them and we don't?
I know. I think we could have some great ones.
Inspirational women. Who would I name as an inspirational?
Who's the most inspirational woman to you? Apart from Hillary Clinton, of course.
Apart from Hillary Clinton, of course. That is a good question. Mary Berry. Mary Berry. Why not the Mary Berry?
She's top.
Yeah. Look at her eyes, though. There's something about her. I don't trust her.
I think she could probably dig that tunnel herself, though, because she seems.
I think she could, and just just give her a bit of cake, and give her a Victoria.
Put a cake on the other side.
That's all she needs to live for like a month. She doesn't eat outside of Bake Off. That's her annual food intake.
She doesn't eat much. She just eats a few bites of it and then moves on.
Well, regardless of, thank you for your engagement there from Mr. or Mrs. Movies. Whether or not you think HS2 is a good idea, I'm sure everyone will agree that it's actually not good to lie about it and about the cost of it.
Lying,
which is exactly what they've been done. Well, cover up is the official line, of course. What's this? Talk about Cummings breaking lockdown while he had corona. Oh yeah, well, I suppose for balance, we've mentioned Keir Starmer's disgraceful ownership of a donkey sanctuary. We'd better talk about Cummings, Dominic Cummings. Jack, you're a fan of Dominic Cummings.
Oh, big up, Dom Cum.
You want to say that again?
Not particularly.
No, I don't want you to either. Dom.
He hasn't got much hair.
I've heard about that. I mean, he broke lockdown whilst he has coronavirus. Isn't that right?
Silly man.
He
called for him to resign.
There have been calls for him to resign. I don't know. Is this going to be the sequel to Brexit: The Uncivil War? It's just Ben Cumberbatch sitting frightened in number 10 for 2.5 hours before finally leaving and then being told to resign.
Well, but he's going to have to shave quite a bit. And
there's not all that much to say about this other than
a source close to him has denied it.
An idiot. He's just the latest in the line of hypocrisies and double standards within government, ours and the devolved ones. There was that Scottish minister, I forget her name, who moments after a speech on why people should remain indoors and avoid travel went X 100 miles or something.
Top politicians.
Yes.
Do as I say, not as I do, and all that.
Exactly. Anyway, these are the newses that Baroness Harding is in no way qualified to lead the test and trace thing. Dominic Cummings is maybe going to resign, but probably not, because and Keir Starmer has a donkey sanctuary, and therefore must be instantly removed from Her Majesty's opposition.
Mm-hmm.
And some stuff about HS2, but who cares about HS2 anymore? Maybe this was their plan all along. They knew it would cost this much, and they would initially underestimate the cost,
and then they'd wait for a global pandemic.
And then once it inevitably spiraled out of control over the years, they knew that people by then wouldn't care.
I thought you were saying that they'd planned this far ahead, that they'd made a pandemic that they could then release this in, so no one would listen. Because no one knows.
That's a good point. No one does know. Even I don't know, because I didn't write, because my notes are illegible.
I can relate to that. My handwriting
is appalling, and I'm quite glad exams were cancelled for this year. But
the Lord.
Anyway, Jack, have you got some news to
Okay, the first one is another one that relates to previous stories we've had, but less directly this time. Do you remember there was a Korean baseball team who were filling their stands with cardboard cutouts?
Yes.
So this Korean soccer team has had to apologise. What do you think they filled the stands with?
Again, is this the sex dolls?
Yes, it's more.
It is the okay. Well, let's talk about
that. Korean soccer teams apologise for sex dolls in stands.
Yes.
The soccer team apologised after the mannequins used to fill seats during games were identified as sex dolls. I do like that someone was watching the mannequin do the thing where knew them well enough to like.
I mean, imagine that. Would you be embarrassed? Would you want to tell that it's like, I recognise? Oh no, because that says a bit about me, doesn't it?
Storm in. You have taken my favourite brand of sex doll and you put it on TV.
She's cheating on me.
No. So clearly they're getting more and more desperate to fill the seats with people.
Absolutely. The CMP movie says Occam's razor, they're just thick. I assume they were talking about the HS2 bungling rather than the Korean sex toys. But yes, thank you for all the engagement. It's much appreciated.
Very
Keep it
much
coming.
So. We do love to see it.
Yes, we do.
Continuing in Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee, a few days ago, a massive trailer spilled 40,000 pounds of macaroni cheese all over a highway, Interstate 24, and it took a very, very long time to clean up. About 2 days.
Right. Sorry, it took me a second to process what you just said. Mac and cheese,
section,
that was.
Yes. This section of Tennessee, Interstate 24, was closed 2 days after 40,000 pounds of macaroni cheese was spilled over it after a catastrophic truck overturning. As you can see, the wacky news is becoming less exciting through the weeks.
No, I like that wacky news.
It was quite serious for cleaning. I mean, I guess it's quite hard to clean up macaroni cheese, especially 40,000 pounds of it. I can't really imagine how big of a bowl of macaroni cheese 40,000 pounds is.
I don't think I could eat 40,000 pounds. Suffice it to say,
I don't. Well, definitely not in one sitting. It might take me two.
It might take me a couple. Although to be fair, I do have that much stockpiled in my garage from the first weeks of coronavirus. I don't even like mac and cheese, but is that a popular opinion? I really don't. I don't like macaroni cheese. I have never liked macaroni cheese. I don't trust it.
That is a vehicle for cheese Yeah.
That's true. That's the thing. I like the cheese, but why ruin it with? It's like cauliflower cheese. Like, ruin perfectly good? Why ruin perfectly good cheese with the worst vegetable? Which is, of course, the cauliflower.
Cheese is just a mistake. I don't understand why. Okay, moving onwards.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech has given an honorary doctorate to a dog.
Right.
Yes.
Are you going to expand on that, or shall we just leave that there?
The dog is named Moose, and it's a beloved university staffer, and is now a doctor.
And it's now okay. Well, so that dog is more successful than I'm likely ever to be. So that's great.
So as well as having a doctorate, the canine previously received the Virginia Veterinary Medical Association's Animal Hero Award. So definitely more than either of us will achieve in our lives. And he's 8.
Almost definitely.
It's an 8-year-old dog.
We're gonna be doing this with our 2 viewers for the rest of our lives.
And Moose is also receiving chemotherapy.
The dog is.
While doing his therapy work, because he's a therapy dog, I believe.
Oh, he's a therapy. So the dog is also receiving chemo.
The dog is receiving chemo and doing therapy and becoming a doctor and becoming an animal good person.
Sorry, carry on.
Good job, Moose. Next. Yes. On May 21st, Welsh town, Gower, I don't know how to speak in Welsh things. Gower was invaded by a herd of stampeding cows.
Okay, stampeding cows. I thought they were more sheep.
No, apparently not. It was fairly dangerous. One of them even had a plastic chair stuck over its head, which is pretty much peak violence.
That is a cow. This is had a plastic chair.
A cow. Yeah, I assume he'd gone through.
Did it look deliberately placed there?
No, it says stampede.
The leader.
It says stampede, but I'd say there are sort of 15 max.
Well, that's not really a stampede, is it?
I hadn't watched the video. I just gone with the stampeding Welsh thing.
Stampede. God, the cheek. I mean,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16's got a chair. 16 one has a chair on his head.
The 16th, right. That's hardly a legion, is it?
I'd implore you to watch out for any stampeding cows in your area, and anyone watching this, if you go to Wales, please wear cow protective clothing. That's our PSA for today.
That's great. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank CMP Movies for their observation that sex dolls are thick. Anyway, moving on to some serious news. And no, I'm not going to give any context for that. No, but there is some, but I'll leave it to you.
Wonderful.
What have we got next? Yes, Hong Kong. I promised some Hong Kong news. Love a bit of Hong Kong news. I'm part of a very strange group on Facebook. Not it's basically I joined it because my friend joined it as sort of out of research, not because he wants. I won't tell you what it's called.
It's because my friend joined.
It's a far. It's I would say far right, not into the realms of, but nearly there. It's dodgy, right. And there are some very strange people on it. And I saw, and almost, I'd say every week, I've seen at least one post every week since the riots. I've seen at least one post about. With videos or a photo or something about the handover of Hong Kong to China, saying it's what a sad day for liberty and freedom and
freedom
and that sort of thing. Freedom, exactly. And in the next post, they will of course be decrying abortion as sinful, and it's the sort of place where most of their conversation is structured around Bible verses and biblical justifications for preventing abortion. Anyway, that aside, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is preparing, the Financial Times have reported, to impose national security legislation on Hong Kong for coronavirus, due to coronavirus, but also bypassing its own legislature. So that, this may spark new riots. People are positing, but it is essentially just a it's just Xi Jinping quietly trying to tighten his grip on the region.
Yeah,
which is a sad thing to see, I think, from the outside, for anyone who believes in anything, really, in self-determination, in free speech, all of that sort of thing. Think that it's probably important to keep up with that sort of thing, even though it's probably quite obvious that it's happening.
Did you see, I assume you saw the whole the recent issues where I can't remember what that lady became chairman, and then they got rid of loads of pro-democracy people, and they had a faff.
Yeah, faff. That's the best way I've heard it described.
But did you see that her trying to get to the chair? They had like a large legit fight in the Parliament.
No,
place.
I've not seen that. When was this?
One of them had to be taken out on a stretcher.
Right.
They had like a full-on fight. I'll try and find about it. I can't spell Hong Kong anymore.
That's I mean, in the meantime, I'll Xi Jinping said in a statement that coronavirus, might make hundreds of thousands of Hong Kong residents disappear, and that's a new symptom.
Wonderful. Oh yes, there was a brawl over the Chinese national anthem bill. The national anthem said that was where it all sparked off. They said that you couldn't make fun of the national anthem or do anything silly with it, and they had a fight. They had a fight for the chair. I'll send you. I know there's a video, no picture there, but they're all squaring up to each other.
Okay.
And one of them got beaten up, so Anne had to be taken out in a stretcher.
Wow.
It wasn't so good.
No, that's no. We don't like violence.
Eddie Chu Hoi was physically attempted to climb a wall. Chu was physically removed from the room by 4 security guards, each one holding a limb. Others were dragged or knocked down. A pro-democracy
his limbs, I assume, not just a limb.
They grabbed someone else's limb. Claudia Mo, who was standing away from the melee, appeared to be hit in the head by a flying placard. That was when lots of pro-democracy people banished. They were saying she seized power. The meeting had to be suspended for minutes to allow for medical treatment of injured people. So
well, that is good. Not good, obviously, but
No, but
that is good news because not good news, but it is some good news there, Jack.
Yeah, the news is entertaining.
It's quality news in character, if not in content, which is very sad.
To make it clear to any potential mini Cheddars investors, we do not support beating up and pro-democracy.
We do not, but we do support the delicious crunch of a mini cheddar.
And the 3 new flavors that we will be advertising next week when you send us 3 copies of them.
I wish.
Yeah.
We wouldn't get any of the money anyway.
Yeah,
that is great. While we're on China, though,
not mini cheddars. While we're on China,
no, not mini cheddars. While we're on China, though, TikTok. I have long been an opponent of TikTok.
That surprises me.
Yeah, you may be surprised to hear that I'm not an avid TikToker. As I believe
I too commenced in the TikTok.
And I live with a number of people, or I will be living with a number of people next year who are, which is going to lead. My obituary is going to end with the words "before he turned the gun on himself." I suspect it's one of those. But TikTok, the world's most popular app with under 20s now. Increasingly a vector for COVID-19 conspiracy theories. Now, this isn't why I was against it initially, but as I'm sure you know, Jack, and I feel like not enough people know or care about this, that TikTok is owned by a company that is directly controlled by the CCP, that being the Chinese Communist Party.
Mm-hmm. You've got to let them see all your funny videos.
So not only will they, so they control the platform. They use it to silence critics, and it's alarming that that a dictatorial, a dictatorship owns social media, the most powerful and widespread social media platform on the planet. I think maybe that's more concerning than their 5G masts, but I don't know.
No, but that's creating the coronavirus. So
that's true. That's great. Well, we'll move on to that in a minute, but because I do have a couple of new conspiracy theories, just like to keep up with them, Anyway, that's not even the news about TikTok because we've known this for ages. However, yes, it's the news is how easy it is to spread conspiracy theories with TikTok, and of course the algorithm targets these videos because they're the most popular. There's a popular hashtag with people filming their hospitals with not many people in them as supposed evidence that the virus isn't as bad as everyone's saying. And that sort of thing. There's
not real.
Other popular. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I assume it goes along with a little dance. You do a sort of weirdly choreographed dance whilst telling the world that this is a vector for Microsoft to be able to launch their new cryptocurrency.
Yeah, or you just film a family member dying of coronavirus or doing a weird little dance.
Or dabbing, or I don't know what kids do. What is it? Flossing, probably.
Yeah,
that's a thing. That's a thing.
I can do that. Yes.
Yes, I care about dental health. Anyway, so that's my TikTok news. But onto conspiracy news.
Well, have you seen the recent TikTok news?
Have I seen what? Sorry.
Have you seen the TikTok rating news? Recently, TikTok has come under fire and has been review bombed down to below 2 stars on pretty much everything platform that has TikTok on. I'm not entirely sure why, but there seems to be just an outpouring of severe anti-TikTok rage right now.
Oh, good.
It all started with a TikTok creator in India. TikTok creator Amir Siddiqui posted a video on Instagram calling out YouTubers. Well, that's by the sounds of things, YouTube people got angry, and they called upon their people to destroy TikTok. After this video was deleted so then someone made a video on YouTube, and then Indian Twitter started trending. Roast this person, whoever that is, ban TikTok in India, TikTok down, TikTok exposed, etc., etc. Lots of anti-China people jumped on as well. And now it's I checked it on my phone yesterday or something. It was like 1.8 stars, which is pretty bad. Given it was like 4.8 before. It was pretty perfect. Now
that's excellent. I mean, I think anti-China sentiment is perfect. Not anti-China as in China, not the principle of the country, people. And not anti-Chinese, but anti-Chinese government is perfectly reasonable. To try and spawn mass deletions, because this is quite a sinister thing to be letting into your homes. Then again, we do it with everything.
Poo in your house.
Then again, we do it with everything else. So maybe we're probably doing it now.
We're probably hypocrites. Maybe
we can complain about it, but basically we are still going to go on Facebook and give them all of our lovely data because it's cheap and free.
We can promise you that Newsn't is not part of this, and you should listen to everything we say and not anywhere
else. No one else,
except
unless they're under the Raw 12:51 a.m. banner, which I believe
news platform.
I believe I'm obliged to say.
That's the only way we get the mini channel.
No, to get your actual news, I should say, do tune into Front Pages with Noah Keat on Monday mornings, because that will tell you the headlines. We're telling you the low lines, the story behind the headline, as it were. That's the plan. Anyway,
this is the plan, and this is
unfortunately there isn't very much non-coronavirus news, so we resort to there is. We're just not trying hard enough. Anyway,
we're just not very good at this. Which is fine.
On to I think what might have to be our final story, unless you've got something else, Jack.
I am all out of strange little stories.
You're all out of... Okay, we are going to cut this episode a little bit shorter than usual, I'm afraid, due for, the number of reasons. I have to go. But our final bit of news
are telling us off for what we said.
Does link to conspiracy theories. Mexico specifically seems to be the epicenter of coronavirus conspiracy theories. My favorite one is that they're dropping it out of planes in vapor trails, which of course is nonsense, because how would they drop the chemtrails to control you if they were doing that?
What have the chemtrails been previously?
So have you not heard the chemtrails conspiracy in the past?
No, I've heard all them, but I mean, if they think this is coronavirus now, what were the chemtrails?
I assume the people that think this is coronavirus aren't. I assume there's no crossover between people who think that's chemtrails. So maybe just for once, we're going to have some bright chemtrails people saying, "No, don't worry, the virus is real. The virus is real. You're just missing the big picture about the chemtrails. They're trying to control you."
I do love that when two conspiracies crash and they both for a second sound like they're like almost normal, because they're saying the other person's stupid. And of course all of our leaders are not shape-shifting lizards.
Wonderful.
They're psychic aliens.
Yes, exactly. Just pause. I have been sent in a story by a regular listener. Much obliged. That's not necessarily why we're having to cut early, though, because I have somewhere to be at 11. But yes, Jack, do some talking.
Okay, talking. Well, we're getting a new story up. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but until we get that, we'll have another discussion about mini cheddars, because apparently mini cheddars are our thing around here. Is there any mini cheddar news going on? I don't know how to make this up as I go along, Scott. So it's just mini cheddar news.
Okay, that is a great story. I like this, Enoch, and thank you very much. Why didn't I see this before? So this is the story that MP Rob Roberts has tweeted. My Twitter crush is at Josh Mack, who is a young conservative. And people have been questioning whether this is necessarily appropriate for an MP to post.
Ooh, little bit.
Yeah. Or did he? Well, let's find out. So,
wow.
Okay, so let's see what Rob Roberts has to say about this. He has denied that this was his post. Here we go. So, do you mean this? The story of why you were on this exact app sounds like a lie, though. You need to throw away account for stuff like this. 1 out of 3. He said, okay, so there was an app that posted something on my behalf earlier. I was taking a screenshot to demonstrate to someone else the dangers of using those apps. That is... So I clicked off the auto post box, assuming that it therefore wouldn't. I then hit login to check what extra warnings it would give, but it gave none. Perfect example, I guess. When things say they will post one on your behalf, they will, even if you say no. Screenshot below. If you have used any of these in the past, remove their positions by going to settings, account, apps, and revoking their permissions. Change password just in case also. Jack, do you buy this?
Not exactly.
No? Why is that, you cynical person? He's the MP for Delin.
It was probably that. That's probably what did it. No, because it's a sort of extremely weak thing when someone finds something dodgy and you need to scramble for an excuse.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. It was a virus or an app or something like that. That wrote out an entire tweet for me about some young conservative man while I'm a conservative MP.
Yeah, I assume he's underage. I guess that's why it's still not.
What was his name? The one?
Well, I haven't looked. I don't want to go spreading misinformation. Well, I do a bit, but
I'm sure that our many listeners will jump on.
His name is Josh Mack. Anyway, as far as I know, Josh Mack hasn't tweeted about the issue, and Rob Roberts seems to still have his job. Although this did only happen last night, so it would be an incredibly quick resignation. And if he resigned that quickly, it would be an admission of guilt. Give it 2 days of him denying it, then it looks like
it's because of the pressure instead of
Then he can say it was if he resigns immediately, then that's basically an admission of guilt, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Good on him. He looks a little bit like the roly-poly goalie. Do you remember the one that was in that scandal about eating a pie during the match? And and it was part of a match-fixing thing. There were bets on. Anyway, that's not really.
That's not news. That is not
all that newsy. Yes.
That was a little while ago. That was 2017.
Yeah. Okay. It was. Oh God! It was that long ago, was it?
Piegate.
Piegate is that what they call? Could they not think of anything else?
Nope, apparently not.
I don't like the habit of putting gate on the end of anything that just to signify that's. I think we need something new. I think something exciting, because this leads to nonsense stuff like Pizzagate.
No, you've got to admit that Gate was good.
That was good, actually. But that should have been the end of it. That should have been the climax of the story.
That should have been the post-ironic Gate.
Yeah,
saga.
exactly. Like the Pizzagate thing, that actually sounds somehow less bad than what it was meant to be, which was Hillary Clinton and various running a child trafficking ring underneath the Washington pizza parlor. Obviously,
exactly. That could have been named much more. Yes, very much not.
I mean, I feel like there are enough bad things about Hillary Clinton that you don't have to make stuff up.
Yeah,
she's a dreadful woman without all of this satanic nonsense.
I mean, there are definitely enough excuses to not vote for her in an election.
Exactly. Don't need to make stuff up about her. Just tell the truth about her potential not war crimes, because
we all like war crimes. No, we don't like war crimes.
They're not war crimes for legal reasons, but they're she's not a lovely woman. And I'd like to take this opportunity, if I do top myself in the next week, treat it as suspicious.
I'd have Hillary Clinton investigated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What else? Right. I think that I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it a little bit shorter than usual today. Apologies to our viewers for that. Sorry about that, Jack. I'm afraid I have to. It's a grocery delivery.
The mini cheddars people.
The mini cheddars. That's what it is.
We've got to sign the contract and everything.
It's it's not that important, but it's a grocery delivery for my grandparents, if you must know, and she wants to bake a cake, so she needs the ingredients by today, and I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe they really are starving. I don't think they are. I think they've got about 40 tins of corned beef hash in the cupboard. Not corned beef hash, because that doesn't come in tins, but corned beef. Do you like corned beef?
Any other form of
hash? Okay.
No, not particularly. I mean, it's not too bad, but I wouldn't jump at the idea of having it.
Yeah. Great. Wonderful. I've just seen your message in the private chat. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Okay. Thank you for watching. We've been a slightly truncated episode of Newsn't.
Buy some mini cheddars.
Yes, coming at you with all the hottest news that didn't make the news this week.
And some of the colder news too.
And some of the colder news as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good week. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.